I'm Trevor Basden, the director of the Bahamas Department of Meteorology, and I'm from the Bahamas. And by profession, I'm an agricultural meteorologist. Pastor Alfred Stewart, right, advised us of this training, and he says we are going to understand some very foundational precepts and concepts for farming as derived or drawn or pulled from the Bible. And knowing that very shortly in the next 3 months or so, we are to engage ourselves in large farming project in one of the major islands of the Bahamas. Now, by the way, the Bahamas is 700 islands in a northwest to southeast orientation between Florida and Cuba. That's where we are. And the general climatic aspect is like, for example, rain, 60 inches in the northwest Bahamas, and the central Bahamas about 40 inches of rain per year, and then 20 inches in the southeast. So that's sort of like more or deserty type, that sort of rainfall. So knowing that we were to engage, in or thinking to engage ourselves in such a project, I decided to say, okay, Pastor, I will join you and come in and learning about God's principles, or the foundation of what the Bible says about farming. And so that's why I'm here. Yes, well, again, I studied at Reading University in England, and I did agricultural meteorology for my Master of Science degree, and my specialty was crop weather modeling. Yeah, and so with that sort of background, it's interesting to say, what on earth could they have pulled or expurgated from the Bible that is so revolutionary, right? And sure enough, from day one, I start to see some principles and concepts, and to cement it with my academic training, I can now see where we as scientists have fallen short. In this, I believe, right? God said, be fruitful and multiply and to dominate the earth. That in Genesis. Now, when we as scientists, we look and research, we are only supposed to see the relationships that God has placed there. But we take them and say, now that I understand this or that, let me make modifications to it. No. That is so wrong. You're dishonoring God in your so-called wisdom, because God can see way down the future, see many more relationships, more than, I don't know if you play chess, but in a chess game, I mean so much more. And so when you go and you make this move, it could be so erroneous, and it could affect so many other things. And that is what I have found from this training, that the principles that God have put in place, yes, learn about them, all right, but use them. Do not make modifications to them because you're not smart enough, no matter what degree you have. That's what I found.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. So tell me, what are your plans when you go back? What is it that you want to do to your communities and even to your family?
Yes, well, the thinking again is to engage ourselves in a farm. Okay, we're going to, and then to really, I think a pastor was indicating, at least from the general concept, to have some of the principles or the persons from to come and just to have a look at what the ideas we might have, but definitely we, in speaking among ourselves in the evening, can see very many ways in which we can assist the small farmers in the Bahamas with better yields with these techniques. especially ideas and concepts of mulching and seed bed planting, and the advice on fertilizers and the more organic way and the conservation sort of aspect of agriculture. It's really, really impressive. But again, Pastor Stewart could sort of lay the basic foundations, but for certain, me in my capacity as an agricultural meteorologist, I'm going to share some of the concepts with the Ministry of Agriculture, and then get a few little small plots, right, and put the training to use. Now, one thing I've said, and I say this, right, you can do all you want, learn all you want, it's good. But someone said that the most valuable result of all education is the ability to make yourself do the things you have to do when they ought to be done, meaning on time, whether you like it or not. And it's usually the first principle not understood by many, So the result of an education is not knowledge. The result of an education is really action. Do something with what you have learned.